Imagine waking up one day to the world you know seeming just a little off. Trees are taller, cities more worn, and even the rhythm of time feels displaced. What if Earth found itself caught in a time distortion? This question stirs not just curiosity but deep emotional intrigue. Picture moments that once felt ordinary morphing into extraordinary tapestries of wonder and confusion. As we dive into this realm of possibilities, prepare yourself for an exploration that goes beyond mere speculation. By the end, you'll find answers that not only satisfy your curiosity but will alter your perception of time and existence itself. Let's begin this journey. Have you ever stopped to wonder about the nature of time? It's something we perceive daily, marking our appointments and orchestrating our lives. Yet, in the vast universe around us, time is a fickle concept. While we may think of it as linear, past, present, future, what if this framework were to shatter? The potential to bend and twist time presents not just a theoretical exploration, but a narrative that invokes empathy, curiosity, and a sense of wonder. What if we were to step outside the confines of our understanding and witness how time creates a tapestry rich with possibilities? Each tick of the clock syncs with our daily rhythm, but in the dark corners of theoretical physics, time isn't as straightforward as our schedules suggest. According to Einstein's theories, time can warp under certain conditions, like the G-forces experienced near a black hole. Now, imagine if Earth, our beloved sanctuary floating amidst the stars, were to encounter such a phenomenon. The fabric of time could stretch, twist, and warp around our home in ways we can scarcely fathom. What would this mean for our lives, our memories, and our futures? This might sound like the plot of a sci-fi movie, but what if I told you that physicists are continuously researching time and its deeper implications? The nuances of time loops, distortions, and non-linearities aren't just whimsical thoughts for fiction writers. They weave through the fabric of modern physics, tantalizingly close to our everyday lives. Have you ever thought about how a time distortion might change personal relationships or historical events? And what if these changes were not about some distant future, but rather unfolding around us, right here, right now? Consider this: if Earth were caught in a time distortion, the immediate implications would be staggering. Everyday life would seem more chaotic, as seconds, minutes, and hours might overlap in what could be described as a temporal cacophony. One moment you could find yourself reliving a cherished memory with a loved one, only to stumble into a day years in the future where everything feels unfamiliar. How would you cope with seeing your childhood home decay and flourish simultaneously? This emotional resonance of simultaneous existence could tether you to the past while pushing you forward into an uncertain future, creating a visceral tug-of-war within your soul. But it doesn't stop there. Imagine the scientific community scrambling to comprehend and contain this unraveling reality. You might be wondering, how would scientists explain a time distortion? Could they harness its power, or would they be too reliant on ancient understandings of cause and effect? Just think about it: physicists trying to predict the light of a sun that appears in two places at once. All the while, philosophers debate the ethical ramifications of observing events no longer tied by linearity. What is the value of a moment if it can exist in an infinite loop? Here's something you didn't expect: if we were to find ourselves nestled within a time distortion, every single thing we think we know about how life progresses would be put to the test. Relationships would evolve, or devolve, in ways we cannot fully comprehend. People would form connections with those they had long forgotten, reliving joyous reunions and painful separations. The emotional resonance could cause a renaissance of understanding, as people grappled with the impact of their choices across time. What happens when the past collides with the present? The rules of our experiences could blur like the edges of a watercolored canvas. For instance, consider a family trying to hold a birthday celebration. Granny, who passed away years ago, suddenly materializes at the table, and in that moment, could the rules of mourning and moving forward begin to break down? Every earthly experience would become an intricate web of moments, woven into the fabric of our existence with all the colors of emotion, joy, sorrow, nostalgia, regret. Think about how this might alter our understanding of time itself, transforming it from a cruel auditor of our lives into a rich counterpoint of emotions and insights layered like fine silk. What if every choice we made resonated across time, echoing in ways we could always feel but rarely understand? Yet, as we navigate this conceptual terrain, let's linger on the scientific implications of such a distortion. Could technology bridge the gap between past and future? Have you ever thought about how our inventions, driven by curiosity and necessity, might evolve in a world unbound by the rules of time? Researchers might discover mechanisms to manipulate time's flow, creating what could resemble simulated historical events or alternate realities. Technology that allows us to experience history firsthand could reshape our understanding of collective memory. Scholars and historians would suddenly have a tool far beyond mere qualitative methods. They'd possess an active, immersive experience of the past that could redefine history itself. But even these thrilling revelations come with their own caveats. What about experiences that should remain untouched? There's a reason we learn from triumphs and also mistakes. They nurture growth and wisdom that guides us forward. What might happen if we could erase the mistakes of our past, undoing heartache or loss? Would we risk losing the essence of what makes us human, the journey marked by pain, perseverance, and transformation? Here's an idea. What if the universe, in colliding our moments, shows us that time isn't merely an avenue for progression? Perhaps it serves as a reminder that the dance of existence is cyclical. Picture this: a mother seeing every moment of her child's growth, the joy and the struggle intertwined. The beauty of surprise envelopes every frame of existence, compelling you to wonder when each snapshot will come back into view. Would this seesaw of experiences strengthen our emotional framework or tear us apart as we navigate the chaos? Now, one might question, why focus on Earth? Traditionally, celestial phenomena are studied in abstractions. But what if Earth is not just a product of the cosmos but a unique witness to time's machinations? If our planet suddenly found itself in a time distortion crafted by cosmic forces, would we still regard ourselves as masters of a linear existence? In this scenario, Earth becomes a character in its own right, one that feels the ravages of time, not as an archaeologist of history, but as a living archive of memories, emotions, and existential truths. Imagine walking down a street where every building tells a story across centuries, brick and mortar infused with human experiences, building stories upon stories. Suddenly, you realize that history isn't just a sequence, it is a series of pulsating moments we could engage with, almost as if we were conversing with echoes from our past. What comes next will leave you speechless. Suppose every individual suddenly became acutely aware of the energy they exuded through their choices, their love, and their fear, a kind of karmic dialogue woven into the very fabric of existence. With the Earth spinning through a temporal distortion, notions of accountability and consequence could transform drastically. The vibrancy of moments shared would imbue life with a deep-seated understanding that every action sends ripples through the timeline, connecting us more profoundly to one another. Now, as we tread into the realm of implications, let's turn our gaze inward. Picture the psychological ramifications of existing in a world where technology can construct memories and manipulate time's perception. Consider how people might grapple with a reality where time blends past, present, and future seamlessly. Would each individual have a multitude of selves, coexisting at once? Faced with this dissonance, how might we redefine our identity? In a world fractured by time distortion, would we renew our search for authenticity, craving genuine human connection over repressed emotions and hollow digital interactions? What if again we were forced to confront moments of genuine vulnerability, reflecting upon who we are beyond fleeting experiences? Each temporal twist may lead us to eschew complacency and encourage a profound appreciation for life, threading moments together, stitching them into a congruous tapestry of self. Before diving further into the consequences of such a distortion, let's pause for a moment. How does this narrative resonate with you? How do you view your own life through the lens of time? And as we ponder these weighty questions, consider this thought: What if time is less an unyielding path and more a labyrinth of our own making? You see, as we explore the ramifications of Earth caught in a time distortion, the path ahead promises revelations that could redefine our understanding of self, existence, and the collective human experience. Up next, we'll delve deeper into the implications for society at large, how nations would respond to shifts in temporal perception, what memory means in this context, and whether cultures could manage to find unity amidst chaos. Would history repeat itself, or would we carve entirely new pathways, radically reshaped by our collective experiences? But before we leap into the depths of this exploration, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered so far. The curiosity ignited within you is a vital spark in this ongoing conversation about time, existence, and the rich tapestry that binds us all. In just a moment, we'll unravel even more thrilling revelations. What lies ahead will forever alter your perception of what it means to exist in a world steeped in time's enigma. Stay with us as we embark on this incredible journey toward the unknown. As we venture deeper into the labyrinth of time distortion, let's cast our gaze outward and examine the societal implications of such profound shifts. Imagine nations grappling with the intricacies of time's new fluidity, facing challenges that arise from a fractured perception of history and progress. In a world where memories intermingle and historical events may overlap, leaders and citizens alike would be compelled to reconsider the very essence of governance and civic responsibility. Consider the ramifications for global conflict. Historical grievances once perceived as settled could resurface, echoing through time in surprising ways. Would long-held animosities ignite once more as individuals relive past injustices? The tender emotions of pride and grief tied to national identities might blur, morphing traditional conceptions of patriotism into something more multifaceted. Each state might find itself simultaneously rooted in its past yet torn between its present and future possibilities, forever trembling at the precipice of chaos. Resultantly, political leaders would need to adapt quickly. Imagine frameworks of government shifting toward consensus as the stakes rise. Politicians would need to balance the repercussions of past actions against future outcomes, emphasizing collaboration over divisiveness. As time distortion enriches and complicates public consciousness, the desire to cultivate unity may spark unparalleled cooperation. Political parties could amalgamate into coalitions, trade agreements reshaped by the revelations gleaned from histories made replete with nuances, setting the stage for a new era of international relations. Yet with this possibility of harmony also exists a darker undercurrent. How would authoritarian regimes utilize this newfound understanding of time? It's chilling to think that those in power might manipulate time's distortions for control, leveraging memories against the masses to rewrite narratives and consolidate authority. Reshaped recollections could be strategically deployed to influence perceptions of history, subjugating people to a tailored version of imagined reality. In this unstable environment, the very essence of truth and memory could be weaponized, presenting a clash of ideologies that would rend societal fabric. Simultaneously, within shifting temporal complexities, we must consider the role of art, literature, and storytelling. The creative world could explode with innovation, revealing new realms where artists draw inspiration from the kaleidoscope of experience. Imagine immersive storytelling that allows people to navigate historical events, engaging with their implications firsthand, while tapping into emotional reservoirs that ignite collective empathy like never before. Art could offer a sanctuary amid the chaos, a way for society to process the far-reaching effects of living beyond linear time, deepening the understanding of shared humanity across generations. But what, ultimately, is memory in a world that has morphed into an amalgamation of past, present, and future? Memory encompasses the ability to recall, to learn, and to grow. Now, in a reality where moments meld together, the very concept of what we remember would shift dramatically. What significance does a lesson learned from a painful moment hold if one can simultaneously wrestle with its counterpart from the future, the triumph stemming from the suffering? Thus, the nature of truth would become a fluid concept, prompting the philosophical question, does experience hold more weight than the mere passage of time? Would we value memories not for their chronological accuracy but for the feelings they invoke? This invites a revolutionary perspective on life, the weight of presence, the depth of perception amplifying our understanding far beyond simplistic narratives of what happened. On an individual scale, the implications can be breathtaking. Think of how personal identity, once a static concept, would take on new dimensions. If we simultaneously navigate timelines of ourselves stretched across existence, older and younger selves cohabitating our consciousness, could that change how we perceive success and failure? Would we become more compassionate, understanding the intricate layers of our experiences? What if the futility of judgment faded away, replaced by a nuanced appreciation for the human condition, framed against the backdrop of timelessness? Furthermore, the psychological landscape of this temporal conundrum would beckon us to explore an aspect of humanity seldom discussed, our collective responsibility toward not just ourselves but our predecessors and successors alike. In a world where memories persist, where do we find accountability? Consider the notion that a single emotional response could ripple through time, echoing into futures yet forged. How might our choices and actions transform the lives of those we've yet to meet? As we delve into this mosaic of society, let's not forget the fabric of culture, its rituals, traditions, and practices. Grounded in temporal dimensions, these constructs weave us into our communities, but what happens when temporal quakes echo through them? Festivals that celebrate heritage might evolve from mere commemorations of bygone events into grand spectacles, living narratives enacted by generations and shared within a continuous cycle of engagement. In this fluid world, the boundaries between the individual and the collective blur, fostering empathy and understanding across disparate experiences. What of those who resist change, who cling tightly to linearity, fearing the loss of stability? How do we bridge the renderings between progress and tradition? These realities urge society to grapple with reconciling past wounds while embracing the tumultuous narrative of human progress. It may be a tumultuous road, yet it paves the way toward healing, reshaping the very foundations of how we relate with each other and collective ancestral experiences. Now, let's touch upon technology's profound presence in this evolving landscape. Where once we merely observed history through a lens, imagine a world where technology becomes an active participant, an agent entwined in the experience of time itself. Tools designed for memory creation, from neuroenhancement devices to time-augmented reality, would serve both education and remembrance. It could allow people to revisit moments that have defined their lives or step into the shoes of historical figures as they made fateful decisions, receiving clarity in their actions. Yet, as we ponder the dawn of immersive experiences, we must confront the ethical landscape this technology carves. The allure of memory alteration may beckon many, but with it arises questions of consent and authenticity. Should we seek to revise sorrowful pasts? What if joy came at the cost of erasing significant lessons? The very fabric of who we are could become frail as we wrestled with the chain of events that made us whole. As we inch closer to conclusions, let us not merely see a distorted realm as a consequence of turmoil but rather as an invitation. Time distorted stirs the soul, not just to learn from our past or imagine our futures but to embrace the beautiful chaos of existence itself. The tapestry of life is altogether richer, conveying not just where we have been, but where we might go in ways we can scarcely imagine. So, we circle back to the very essence of our journey. What does it mean to exist in a world suffused with time's unmistakable fingerprints? It stands as a profound reminder that life is but a series of moments interconnected through the expressions of joy and sorrow, inquiry and understanding. It beckons us to grasp the ephemeral threads that tie us together, revealing that our existence is eternally bound to each other through the experiences we share, no matter the temporal chaos around us. In closing, this reflection on time is not just a philosophical or scientific inquiry, it is a deep, penetrating call to empathy. It asks us, as individuals and as a society, to embrace our differences, to honor our shared histories, and to listen when the echoes of our hearts reverberate across the voids of time. As we proceed with this newfound understanding, we return to the notion that every action resonates in ways we might not yet comprehend. So, as we step back into the temporal realm we inhabit, let us carry forth the lessons gleaned from our exploration, recognizing that existence is infinitely richer when we embrace the essence of time as an ever-evolving tapestry woven from the threads of our lives. By embracing chaos, understanding our narratives, and cherishing our interconnectedness, we may yet transform our human experience into an exquisite dance with time itself. Thus, as we conclude our journey through the enigma of time distortions, let us look toward the horizon, where the past, present, and future converge, and recognize that it is within our power to shape not only our own destinies but also the very fabric of existence itself. Join me as we take these sparks of insight and illuminate our paths forward, for the adventure is just beginning.